Welcome back to Coming Home Daily, a devotional practice for intentional living. This month, we're in the theme of clarity, learning to see yourself and your next steps more clearly. Sometimes, what looks like confusion is actually fear. Yesterday, we talked about creating space for quiet because clarity rarely screams, it whispers. If you haven't watched that one already, go back and then come back. But what happens when you've gotten quiet and you're still saying, I just need more clarity? If you're consulting your Bible, the Quran, your mentor, your friend group, your tarot card, your personality test, and the latest book on how to get out of your own way and still don't know which way to go, first things first. Get clear on who you're allowing to speak into and over your life. You probably heard the saying, too many hands in the pot or too many cooks in the kitchen. Sometimes, most times, too many voices make it harder, not easier, to hear your own. A couple of years ago, I joined a group that eventually connected me with my sister squad. It's a small peer group where we committed to meeting weekly for a year. We became so close that now, 3 years later, we still meet regularly. In fact, we're meeting this weekend. One day during my share, I talked about what I'd been working on, the connections I was seeing, the signs and synchronicities I was noticing. And then I said something that felt completely normal at that time. I'm just looking for more clarity. So after each person shares, we have the option to open the floor for reflections. One of my sister friends asked a simple question that stopped me in my tracks. Do you really need more clarity? She wasn't trying to answer the question for me. In fact, she was really hesitant to say it. She was, in fact, inviting me to answer it for myself. And in that moment, and the moment since, I realized I had been asking for something I already had. I wasn't unclear about what to do. I was nervous, anxious, fearful even about making the move. And recognizing that difference changed so much for me. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. It is completely okay to be afraid, apprehensive, and uncertain. There's a reason that phrase, do it scared, resonates with so many people. If you're creating a life you truly love, there will be moments where fear shows up. Sometimes you just gonna have to look that fear in the face and do it scared. Sometimes the fear is that you won't accomplish what you hope for. So, to protect yourself from disappointment or failure, you convince yourself you just don't know what to do. Other times, the fear isn't that the dream is too small, it's that it's too big. Maybe you're afraid that if you go after it, the people currently in your life won't understand you anymore. We hate being misunderstood. Maybe you'll outgrow certain relationships or they'll choose not to come with you. And I'm not going to pretend that those aren't possibilities. But I do want to remind you of this. If you never try, you never have to wonder whether you'll fail because you've already guaranteed that the dream won't move forward. And if you're shrinking yourself to keep everyone else comfortable, remember this: living smaller is no guarantee that people will stay, but it almost definitely guarantees that you'll never feel fully satisfied. And honestly, the people you want in your corner are the people who actually want to be there. One of my favorite perspectives on fear comes from Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. In the book, she describes fear not as an enemy to defeat, but as a passenger who comes along for every creative journey. She acknowledges the fear will almost always show up when we set out to do any meaningful work. But she's clear about one important boundary: fear isn't allowed to drive. It can ride alone, but it doesn't get to steer and it doesn't get to touch the radio. I love that imagery because it's such a powerful reminder that fear is a natural part of growth. It doesn't have to be the end of the story, though. You can acknowledge your fear without handing it the keys. You can let it come along for the ride while choosing, moment by moment, to keep moving towards the life you're creating. So today, ask yourself, are you really lacking clarity or are you just afraid to take the next step? The reflection question for today is, if fear wasn't making this decision for me, what would my next step be? You can repeat this part after me. Today, I come home to the clarity I already have. I release my fear of failure and my fear of success. I choose to move forward, even if fear comes with me. I trust that courage grows with each step I take. If this helped you today, subscribe so you don't miss the next Coming Home Daily. And if you're just starting out on the intentional living journey, then grab my free starter kit that's linked in the description. Now take this with you into today, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. Stay intentional and keep coming home.